Hello, I'm Zim. This is my channel where I talk about things because I can, and today I'm going to talk about the film Hoppers. Right off the bat, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to pick apart the messaging in this movie in relation to real-world context in a pretty negative way. I'm not assessing the overall quality of the film or its value as entertainment. This is entirely about why it falls flat as a portrayal of the issues it's about. Usually I do try to play devil's advocate a lot in my videos and keep them kind of nuanced, but this will admittedly be my least nuanced one yet. I kind of feel more okay being negative about this film in particular because this is a very self-contained, light-hearted video. I'm not going to hurt anyone by doing this, I think. To preface, I never had super high expectations, especially from Disney or Pixar and as an adult. I watched this movie through unspecified nefarious means, so look, I'm biased against it, whatever. Just not so much so that I don't still have a point here, or at least I think I do. While I didn't personally expect to enjoy it, I am kind of surprised by how well received it's been by people my age or older. I would have thought that given all the shit going on in the world parallel to this movie, that older viewers would be more critical of the very milquetoast messaging, but they aren't, and that bugs me. Get it? Bugs. But anyway, my main aim here is to break down where and why I think this movie fails as a story about activism and habitat loss. Time for my usual song and dance disclaimer. This is my opinion. I know that, you know that. If you don't agree, it's fine. I'm not trying to say you are evil if you like this movie because it's enjoyable as a film, especially for the intended younger audience. I'm not of the belief that me not liking it gives me the right to say it's completely awful and nobody should watch it. It's not a bad movie, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm going to rip into this in specifically the most friend who is too woke way possible, and I'm fully aware that I am taking it too seriously. This is a YouTube video, I'm being a bit over the top. But I've been dyeing my hair a natural colour since I was 13, rest assured I am more than qualified. So if it seems like I'm maybe being mean in this video or I'm taking things in bad faith on purpose, I probably am, but the huge media conglomerate can definitely handle it. And with that out of the way, let's talk about Hoppers. So Hoppers is this Pixar movie that was released in March of this year about a 19-year-old girl who loves animals and uses a robot beaver body that you can transfer your consciousness into to learn about the animal kingdom while trying to save the glade in her hometown from having a highway built over it. Her determination to save the glade stems from both her love for animals, but also because she spent a lot of time with her grandmother there who sadly passed away, and said grandmother is also someone who taught her to appreciate nature. It's kind of typical Pixar tear-jerking working as intended. And I didn't hate this movie, it was reasonably entertaining, it was cute, it had nice moments. But then I thought about it. I thought about it a lot. See, the main character, Mabel, is very likable in my opinion, and I also like that she's a young adult because I feel like a lot of the protagonists in Pixar movies aren't really around that age, but she's presented as well-meaning yet irrational. The movie really wants you to believe that her heart is in the right place, but her execution is all wrong. She's too angry, she's too impulsive, etc. And she also acts as a foil to the over-logic-focused mayor, the one trying to build a highway over the glade, who you would think would be the main villain, and yet instead, he's a secret third thing. This is the start of where my issues are. I know I'm being a Debbie Downer, one could even say a joyless Julie, but I was kind of shocked by how few people are pointing out that this movie is really just repackaged propaganda. And I know that's a big scary word to be using, but it is. It's like hiding a pill in your dog's food so they don't notice it, but the pill is questionable politics and the food is cute characters and a sexy mayor. And also the pill isn't really hidden in the slightest. And I know you're thinking, Zim, it's a kid's movie, it's not that deep. Well, yeah. Nothing is that deep if you never dig. The main character is literally supposed to be an environmental activist. The mayor is portrayed as a nice politician who everyone loves. This film is definitely political, very purposefully so. Generally, I think Pixar movies are inoffensive or smaller scale, like Inside Out or Turning Red, for example, but the destruction of habitats is a very real, very current, global issue that they did not handle well in my opinion. And I know you can enjoy something and not necessarily agree with every aspect of it, but if you come away not questioning this at all, I will give you a little side-eye. It takes a real-world problem and message, but then uses a completely unrealistic situation to try to sway the conclusion someone comes away with. It does this by presenting misleading aspects as being more plausible in relation to the sci-fi parts of the movie. Obviously, the movie's premise is unrealistic, so the unrealistic scenario makes sense within the story, whatever. But the idea of, let's all just get along because extreme measures are bad from either side, doesn't really work when the other side's extreme measures in question are from a real oppressed group or victim fighting back against a real oppressor or perpetrator in a manner that is completely impossible in real life. For adults, this isn't a problem, we know better, I hope at least, but this movie is for younger folk, and kids are not as likely to question those things, especially the parts that are presented as mundane. The nice politician who loves his mother and just wants what's best logically for everyone. That's what bothers me most. This, and I don't think it's unfair to say that critical thinking is at an all-time low at the moment, so let's get into my critical thoughts about this film, shall we? I can fully admit that I probably wouldn't be as bothered by this movie if it hadn't come out as recently as it did, because in case you haven't noticed, the world is actively getting worse at a significantly faster pace than it would have a few years ago. And before somebody comes along saying some bullshit like, oh, do something about the actual issues instead of making a video about the Pixar movie. First of all, I do make an effort where I can, I'm just not using it for entertainment because that would be fucked up and weird. Second of all art is political, it does not exist in a vacuum, whether you like it or not. We are witnessing habitat destruction on an insane scale, mostly thanks to factors like AI data centers at the moment, which is a big part of why I think it's kind of messed up to release a movie aimed at younger people growing up in this very, very scary time, presenting a teenager who cares about the destruction of a habitat as irrational and annoying and just not fully understanding the nuances of why some things are necessary. It feels very weird to push that right now. It's the exact arguments people actively use to dismiss the concerns of younger people, as well as to excuse the active destruction of our ecosystems. And sure, the movie has a happy ending, the glade ends up preserved as a national park, but through very deceptive means, because in the real world you don't get that outcome by backing down or compromising or the magic of friendship. And this is going to sound like a very irrational take, but it makes sense to me. Look at my channel name, you should have seen this coming. I don't like that the main villain of this movie is a butterfly. I also don't like that a character who supposedly cares a lot about the environment kills his mother, who is another butterfly, and it's presented as funny in the moment because, oh look, she thought she was threatening, but she's actually still very small and irrelevant because she's an insect. A lot of people will claim to be animal lovers but still hate or kill bugs, and that's not acceptable and never will be. And while Mabel seems chill about bugs generally, this moment still feels very out of touch to me, because anyone who genuinely cares for the environment would not kill a butterfly like that, let alone a monarch. The monarch butterfly population has decreased by around 90% since the 1990s. They are at genuine risk of extinction in this century, and globally, pollinator populations are declining. That shit's not a joke. Don't vilify insects in your kid's movie or use killing them as the butt of a joke. A lot of people already think bugs are bad and scary or that their lives don't matter. There's no need to keep reinforcing it. And while we're here, speaking of monarch butterflies, if you live in North America, you can plant native milkweed species. It is the food plant for their caterpillars, and having more of it around will hopefully help them out. One movie I'm actually really looking forward to is Insectarium, because I have a lot of faith it'll treat insects with the respect they deserve and emphasize that a world without them really would be genuinely utterly fucked. I saw a lot of people commenting on announcements about that movie saying shit like, oh, a world without bugs wouldn't be dystopian at all, that sounds amazing. Like, okay, so you don't understand how anything works, I guess. I don't think I'm crazy for thinking about how Hopper slots into real-world context. We get a lot of scenes that amount to politicians are people too. The mayor just wants to do what's right for everyone by destroying this habitat, and it's not 100% evil because he drove the animals out first. Come on, man. That's really the hill you want to die on? I will give this movie credit for some things. It presents the idea of the food chain in a pretty good way that I think could help people understand better that animals need to eat and animals killing animals are not evil for it. You can observe nature and appreciate it without interfering and accept that even though you have favorites, the ecosystem doesn't. But, those pros do not outweigh the cons. The film has a recurring message that human homes and animal homes are all just one big place. I wouldn't say that's incorrect, we have one planet and we all share it. Human homes and animal homes are one big place, so when the data centers are built and destroy wildlife habitats, they're also destroying human drinking water. Human homes and animal homes are all one big place, so when pollinators die out thanks to overuse of pesticides and destruction of habitats, we can't sustain our agriculture anymore. Oh, but this movie is about why extreme measures against those kinds of things are bad and we all need to work together and talk things out. If they wanted to make the we share one home point, the forest fire at the end was definitely the right route for that. They can occur naturally or as a result of human action and will resultingly endanger both humans and animals. But having it be caused by the Insect King was a little fucked. I know it's kind of embarrassing to be as annoyed as I am about this film at my big age, but I can't help it. People keep on recommending it to me because they know I like animated media, and they also know I really like butterflies. But one, I'm sick of Disney Pixar having this iron grip over animation, I'm really bored of it. Two, as entertaining as this movie could be, I was never going to agree with it. And three, you sick fucks telling me there are butterflies in this movie did not mention they die. Humans are fucking over every other living creature, ourselves included. If animals suddenly got the capability to wipe us out, fucking let them, man. I mean, not seriously, I know the average person is not the biggest contributor to climate change or habitat loss, but we also aren't innocent even if people in power have more sway. Like, just fucking put ChatGPT down, honestly. Even if people want to blame absolutely everything on politicians, keep in mind this movie wants you to like the politician at the end because he makes pancakes for his mother. They all work together. It's pushing compromise where there's no room for it. Obviously, this movie is labeled sci-fi. I know, but it's presenting this part as the real believable side of things in comparison, which it isn't. And I'll say this again. Portraying a passionate teen activist as too emotional and over the top is genuinely insidious. A lot of teens are terrified to grow up in the world we live in, and I mean, I am too. The movie acknowledges that people are loud about this stuff because they feel powerless otherwise, but then doubles down on Mabel's behavior being impulsive and wrong and she regrets it. But genuinely, there's nothing unreasonable about wanting to prevent these things from happening through any means necessary. You should never feel bad for caring or being angry about this stuff. If you want to watch a movie where a girl takes on an animal form and learns about the natural world while there's a simultaneous plot occurring about deforestation and humans encroaching on land that isn't theirs, watch Wolfwalkers maybe. It did it better. Also one of the most underrated movies of all time actually, in my personal opinion. And sure, they're not the same, they don't make the exact same points, but Wolfwalkers is a really beautifully animated movie, and it's on the more mature side of the family category, and therefore treats the issues it's presenting with the weight they deserve. You can watch Disney or Pixar movies, you can love them, I don't really care, but Hoppus had the potential to make good, relevant points, and I think it completely fumbled it. To summarize, you could basically just say that this movie is a very lukewarm take in woke clothing. But that is enough of that. The next video I have planned is something that I think is a lot of fun, and I've actually been working on some different visual stuff for my content, so subscribe and come back next week if you want to see that, and also see me be a bit more positive. Okay, thanks, bye, love you, I just lost the game.